The notification sound pierced through Maya's exhaustion like a knife. She'd been staring at her laptop screen for 6 hours straight, her eyes burning, her back aching, her heart heaving with the weight of everything falling apart. The medical bills sat in a neat, terrible stack beside her keyboard, each one a reminder that her mother's cancer treatment cost more than Maya would, making 2 years at Thornfield Industries. At 24, she felt ancient, worn down to nothing but worry and sleepless nights. She picked up her phone, intending to text her best friend, Sarah, about how impossibly difficult everything had become. Instead, her trembling fingers, clumsy with fatigue and unshed tears, selected the wrong contact. The message was meant to be lighthearted, a desperate attempt to make Sarah laugh during these dark times. "Hey, gorgeous. I've been thinking about you all day. Those eyes of yours could make anyone forget their troubles. When are you finally going to take me to dinner and let me get lost in that smile?" Maya hit send and dropped her phone face down on the desk, too tired to even reread what she'd written. She had exactly $47 in her checking account, a mother who needed medication that cost $300 every week, and a job that barely covered rent. Flirting with Sarah, even jokingly, was the only moment of lightness she'd allowed herself in months. 30 seconds later, her phone exploded with buzzing. She flipped it over and her heart stopped completely. The message hadn't gone to Sarah. It had gone to Alexander Thornfield, her boss, the CEO of Thornfield Industries, the youngest billionaire in Seattle, the man whose office was on the 42nd floor while she sat in a cubicle in the basement, processing expense reports for people who spent more on lunch than she made in a week. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Maya's hand shook so violently she nearly dropped the phone. She watched in horror as 3 dots appeared, indicating he was typing. Then they disappeared. Then they appeared again. Her career was over. Her mother's treatment was over. Everything was over. The reply finally came. Address? Just one word. Maya stared at it, her mind unable to process what was happening. Was he going to come fire her in person? Was this some kind of cruel power play? She'd never even met Alexander Thornfield face to face. She'd only seen him from a distance, tall, dark-haired, always surrounded by executives in expensive suits, always moving too quickly for anyone like her to even register on his radar. Her phone buzzed again. "Maya, I need your address, please." The please undid something in her. With shaking fingers, she typed out her address, then added, "Mr. Thornfield, I'm so sorry. That message wasn't meant for you. I made a terrible mistake. I understand if you need to terminate my employment. I just need a few days to figure out—" "Don't finish that sentence. Stay where you are." Maya sat frozen, watching the minutes tick by on her laptop clock. 15 minutes? 20? She should have been preparing her resignation letter, but she couldn't move. She couldn't think. She could barely breathe. Exactly 23 minutes after that last message, there was a knock on her apartment door. She opened it, and there he was. Alexander Thornfield, in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her car, standing in the hallway of her rundown apartment building where the fluorescent lights flickered and the walls were stained with water damage. His dark eyes weren't angry. They were concerned. "May I come in?" His voice was softer than she'd imagined. Maya stepped aside wordlessly, acutely aware of how small her studio apartment was, how the furniture was mismatched thrift store finds, how the medical bills were still visible on her desk. She watched him take it all in and she wanted to disappear. "I'm going to lose my job," she said quietly. "I understand. You're not losing your job." "Maya." He turned to face her, and something in his expression made her chest tighten. "I ran a background check in the car on the way over. I hope you'll forgive the invasion of privacy, but I needed to understand." Her cheeks burned. "Understand what?" "Why one of my employees has been working 70-hour weeks for 8 months straight, never taking a single sick day, never being late once, while drowning in medical debt." He gestured to the bills on her desk. "Your mother has stage 3 breast cancer. You're paying for her treatment entirely on your own. Your father died when you were 16. You have no siblings. No one helping you." Tears spilled down Maya's cheeks before she could stop them. "I can handle it." "You shouldn't have to." Alexander moved closer, his voice fierce now. "Do you know what I saw when I got that text? Not an inappropriate message from an employee. I saw someone who's been so ground down by life that they're texting the wrong person because they're too exhausted to see straight. I saw someone who needed help and was too proud or too scared to ask for it. I don't need charity, Maya whispered, even as her body sagged with exhaustion. It's not charity, it's decency. He pulled out his phone, typing rapidly. I'm setting up a meeting with my assistant for tomorrow morning. We're going to restructure your position, adjust your salary, and most importantly, we're going to get your mother into the company's executive health program, the best oncologists in the state. All expenses covered. Maya shook her head, overwhelmed. Why? You don't even know me. You're not just anything. Alexander's eyes held hers with an intensity that took her breath away. I built Thornfield Industries from nothing. My mother was a single parent who worked 3 jobs to keep us fed. I know what it's like to watch someone you love sacrifice everything. I swore that if I ever had the power to help people like her, like you, I would. That's not charity. That's remembering where I came from. The tears came harder now, months of pressure finally breaking through. I don't understand. That text. It was supposed to make my friend laugh. It was stupid and unprofessional and it was human, he interrupted gently. It reminded me that behind every employee ID number, there's a person fighting battles I know nothing about. I have 3,000 employees, Maya, and I've been so focused on quarterly earnings and expansion that I forgot to look at the people making it all possible. He paused, a small smile crossing his face. Also, for what it's worth, I do have nice eyes, apparently. Maya laughed through her tears, a sound that felt foreign after months of nothing but worry. I'm mortified. Don't be. Be at my office tomorrow at 9. We have work to do. He moved toward the door, then turned back. And Maya? That friend you were texting, make sure to send them the actual message. Everyone needs someone who makes them laugh. After he left, Maya sank onto her couch, her phone still in her hand. She opened her messages and finally sent the flirty text to Sarah, along with an explanation of what had just happened. Sarah's response was immediate. Only you could accidentally text the CEO and have it turn into a miracle. I'm crying. But the miracle deepened over the following weeks. Alexander was true to his word. Maya's mother was admitted into a treatment program that would have been impossible to access otherwise. The medical bills stopped piling up. Maya's position was restructured. She became a liaison between executive management and entry-level employees, tasked with identifying people who were struggling and connecting them with resources. It was during one of their weekly meetings, 6 weeks after the infamous text, that Alexander admitted something that changed everything. I need to be honest with you, he said, looking almost nervous for the first time since she'd met him. That night I came to your apartment. I told you I ran a background check in the car. That was true. But I'd actually noticed you months before. Maya's heart skipped. What? I sometimes walk through all the floors, not just the executive level. I saw you one morning at 5:30 a.m. already at your desk. You were crying, but the moment someone walked by, you wiped your tears and smiled at them. Asked them how their weekend was. He leaned forward, his eyes intense. I went back to my office and pulled your file. Top performance reviews. Never a complaint. Always volunteering for extra projects. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how without overstepping. Then you sent that text and it gave me the opening I needed. So you were already planning to help me? I was trying to find the right way. You made it easier? He smiled, that rare, genuine smile she'd come to treasure. Although I have to say, being called gorgeous wasn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Maya felt heat rise to her cheeks. Mr. Thornfield? Alexander, please. She took a breath, feeling bold for the first time in months. Alexander, that text was supposed to be a joke, but standing here now, knowing everything you've done, how you see people, how you actually care... She paused, gathering her courage. I meant every word of it. You do have beautiful eyes, and you did make me forget my troubles, even if just for a moment. The air between them shifted, charged with possibility. Have dinner with me, he said quietly. Not as your boss, as someone who'd very much like to get to know the woman brave enough to accidentally flirt with a billionaire and bold enough to mean it. Afterward, 6 months later, Maya stood in a hospital room, holding her mother's hand as the doctor delivered the news. They'd been praying for complete remission. Her mother was crying, and so was Maya, And when she looked up, Alexander was in the doorway with flowers, having driven straight from a board meeting to be there. "He's a keeper," her mother whispered, squeezing Maya's hand. Maya thought about that accidental text, about exhaustion and desperation leading to a mistake that became a miracle. She thought about how the worst moment of her life had transformed into the beginning of everything beautiful. "Yeah," she whispered back, watching Alexander cross the room to embrace them both. "He really is. Sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways. Sometimes a wrong number becomes the right connection. And sometimes, when you're too tired to even see straight, you accidentally send your heart's truth to exactly the person who needed to hear it."